All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Ice Guys on the Hockey Podcast Network. I am Alex B. Smith. If you guys haven't followed Twitter today, it's just me on the show. This is basically uh, a solo mission for me. Ian is not available today, as well as Jimmy Murphy. He's not feeling well, so wish him the best in returning. And Ian will be back tomorrow, as far as I know. So I was gone for a couple of days as well, so just kind of trying to piece things together. It's, playoff time, just like the teams on the ice. We're trying to figure it all out, and get our lineup back together. So are we here at the Ice Guys. So everybody, and once again, I want to mention a couple things before we start. On the YouTube page, I want to thank everybody. We have exactly 1,000 subscribers. So we want to wish everyone, thank everybody for watching us over these last few months of the season and over the years as well. And to reach this plateau is truly a cool honor. So I want to thank everybody for that. Also, I posted the photos on the Ice Guys page, and I'm wearing it right now. One of the T-shirts that we have for sale at shop.spreadshirt.com/Ice Guys. Today you can get 20% off of everything from our store that expires at midnight tonight Eastern time. So check that out at the shop. So want to get those couple things out of the way, and let's talk about the games that happened last night as well. We already got two teams that are officially out of the playoffs. Of course, we had Boston eliminating Washington by the score of 3-1. Bruins take care of that series. They lose the first game and they end up winning four straight. And we talked about the Caps, how they couldn't get things rolling on the power play. Just Ovechkin started to look, looking his age, if not older, looking tired. Of course, it was the issue with him yelling at Ilya Samsonov. And this team just kind of just fell apart. This is the third straight year now where they've been eliminated in the first round. And you kind of wonder where things are going to go from here. Boston looks sharp, of course, like I said, winning four straight after losing the first game. So they move on and they get to wait and see who they'll play against Pittsburgh or the New York Islanders. That series tied 2-2. And then you've had in the other games, we had Colorado sweeping the St. Louis Blues. So that's the first and more likely could maybe on the way to another sweep later tonight. But that's the first sweep we've had, a 5-2 win for Colorado. They just poured it on late, got two empty net goals to wrap things up. And, the Blues just looked completely lost. And this is a Colorado team that's playing right now on an absolutely higher level. So there was just no match for them in that four-game sweep. The other games that happened last night, of course, the biggest one being Winnipeg Jets taking a 3-0 lead, a commanding 3-0 lead after being down 4-1 in the third period. Three straight goals for Winnipeg. It just kind of took all of the air out of that Edmonton team, and they wrap it up in overtime to win 5-4. And now they have to come back tonight, 24 hours later, where Winnipeg had the chance to finish this thing off in four. And, I talked about it on Twitter last night with Connor McDavid. This guy's just not built for the playoffs. He's a great regular season player. He's an amazing talent. But this team isn't built and ready to play, consistent postseason hockey. And McDavid as a leader, he just doesn't have, that killer instinct. We see this with other guys, Sidney Crosby, Patrick Kane, other guys over the years that have that killer instinct that can pick up their team when they need it. And Connor McDavid, even your team blows a 4-1 lead, and that's a group effort for that to happen. But in overtime, it's up to him to be the guy that says, hey, put the puck on my stick and let me work and let me get this goal so we can get this win and get things back in the right direction. And he just seemed to be absent late in that game and in the overtime as well. He got 3 assists in the contest, but those are all the points he's pretty much had. Before that, he was lacking in the point department. That's the thing. If you're going to be the number one guy, you've got to produce every single night. And that just hasn't happened. And that's why the Oilers are facing elimination this evening. Last game was Carolina and Nashville, another double overtime game. Nashville wins it and evens up that series at 2. It's unfortunate for me. I had that series price under, 5.5 games. I thought this was going to be wrapped up. And Luke Kunin scores 57 seconds into the contest, and then he also gets the goal to end it in the double overtime frame. So kudos to Nashville for being able to, go home and get 2 wins, and now you go back to Carolina for Game 5. That's going to be an interesting battle. Might see that one go all 7 games, to be honest, at this point. Nashville, playing really well. This could be one of those true home series. So if that is the case, then Carolina's going to have to really ramp it up next game, and if it does go to that 7th game, that home ice is going to be pretty crucial. So now we got that out of the way. Let's go to tonight's games. We'll go in time order. I know Ian usually goes in rotation, but the times are a bit flip-flop. The first game's at 7 p.m. Eastern. We've got the New York Islanders and Pittsburgh Penguins. As I mentioned, Game 5. They're going back to Pittsburgh. It says tied 2-2. And this has been a really entertaining series. I didn't want it to be as close as it is. I got a Penguins series ticket minus $1.35. So I was hoping that they would be a little bit more dominant. But, this is an Islander team we talk about. They're just a really good, solid team. They play good defense. Of course, the Barry Trotz system, and they ramped that up in the playoffs. But they, starting to find the goals as well. They scored 4 goals in each of the last 2 games. And that's what we saw last year in the bubble with this Islander team. As good as they are defensively, as soon as they start getting things rolling with that offense, that's when they become really dangerous. They're not relying on, these 2-1, 3-1 games. They can start scoring 4 and 5 goals consistently. You have to watch out for them. And that's the thing with Pittsburgh, too. They're going to have to start getting some more production from their secondary guys. Rust has been a bit quiet. Of course, as like I said, Crosby, this is the time where he's going to have to really step up and get these guys rolling and leading the way here. So it's going to be a really good game. I like this game to go into OT. You can get that regulation draw price. I saw around 310, 315. If I had to take a side, honestly, I wouldn't even look at playing a money line price. If you like Pittsburgh to win this, chances are you probably would like Pittsburgh to win this series. Like I said, it's now a best of 3. You can get them at minus. I've seen minus $1.10 up to plus $1.10 at some places. You shop around, so that would probably be the way I would look to bet that. Even conversely, the Islanders, you can get that minus $1.30, $1.35. If you think the winner of this game is going to go on and win the series, now's a good time to just jump in with a series price, and maybe double your units on a series price rather than playing this one individual game. So that's something to look at. But like I said, I like the regulation draw with that contest. The other game that starts at 7 Eastern is Toronto and Montreal. Game 3. Now the series shifts from Toronto to Montreal. Now this is really interesting. This would be the first game in Canada with a crowd. I'm not sure what the exact attendance is, but I'm hearing that they will be allowing fans inside Montreal's arena tonight. So that's going to be absolutely huge. Watching these games in the North Division playoffs, as exciting as they've been, like I mentioned that game last night, I can only imagine how that crowd would have reacted. The whiteout crowd in Winnipeg, had there been fans there, it would have been absolutely even more electric than it was. It was a great game, but that would have been amplified times 100. Honestly, if there had been a crowd in Winnipeg. So we're going to have a crowd in Montreal. Now, the other big story with that, too, is that Cole Caulfield will now be inserted into the lineup with Stahl being out with injury. Cole Caulfield, I saw it on Twitter earlier today, he will be in the lineup for Game 3. So this is a great young talent. It's a guy who I definitely think is going to be a mainstay with this franchise and in the league for quite some time. He's got incredible scoring prowess. And so I'll be excited to watch him tonight. Of course, the series play that I have in this, I picked that there would be 3 overtime games within this series. And so that's something that I'm going to be looking for. I won't be playing the draw individually. I'm just hoping that we see an overtime personally in this matchup. But if I had to play a side, I would be looking, honestly, with Montreal. You can get them that plus $1.40, $1.45. And the total here is, I'm going to pull it up, 5.5, shaded to the under. I would probably be leaning toward the over in that spot, but I like Montreal here, coming home, playing in front of fans. I think that's going to be a really big thing for them. So that's the side I lean on. And like I said, I'm hoping that we see a draw. So a halved overtime win would be working nicely in my favor for that game. Let's see. We're going to the next one here. And mention in the comments if I'm going a little too fast. I apologize. Like I said, it's my first foray hosting the show by myself. So if you guys need recaps on anything, let me know in the chat. The next game, this is at 8 p.m. Eastern start. We got Tampa Bay and Florida, and this is one of the 3 games that we could possibly be seeing in elimination tonight. Tampa Bay up 3-1. They just absolutely ran through Florida in the last game. And it was a 6-2 victory for Tampa. And this just seems like, the air has kind of been let out with Florida right now. They're leaning toward possibly starting Spencer Knight, the rookie, who's, seeming like he's going to be the future of this organization. But, you know, like I said, it's rare when you see three goalies starting in a series, nothing related to injuries, just, Coach Quenneville now trying to shake things up and see if he can get a spark from the rookie goalie. Jimmy mentioned it before about how this kid, his whole career, he has pretty much, done, he's been in big games and he showed up for all of them so far throughout of his career. So if he can, try to get this rally going for Florida, that would be absolutely enormous. And it'll also have some questions that they'll have to answer now in the offseason for sure. With three goalies, Bobrovsky got that massive contract. Drieger's been mentioned as a guy who's probably going to be picked up possibly by Seattle or moved for some pieces in the offseason. So they've got some questions, and Spencer Knight's definitely going to, shake up the things if he can get that win here. I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. I like Tampa Bay. I played them minus $1.10. I got that this morning. You can still find $1.15, $1.20 if you shop around. This is a team, obviously, the defending Stanley Cup champions, but they've played a lot of playoff games. They have what it takes to put a team away. They have that killer instinct that I always like to talk about. And I think this is definitely going to be a spot where, Tampa Bay just goes on and takes care of business. I'm not worried too much about, the Spencer Knight factor. I think that might spark them up. I don't think they're going to get trounced in this game. It should be a close one. So I wouldn't be looking at anything with the total. I'm just playing the side here, going with Tampa Bay. And we got two more games tonight, the later portion. This was starting 9:45 Eastern. As I mentioned it earlier, is Edmonton and Winnipeg. Game 4. This is, like I said, this would be absolutely amazing if there was a crowd for this one. Unfortunately, it won't be. But the Edmonton Oilers, like I said, they just seem to be completely flat. And at this point now, like I said, to lose a game where you had a 4-1 lead, and all of a sudden, it just evaporates. You lose in overtime, and it's just demoralizing. I don't know. I feel like I would be more comfortable leaning and looking toward Edmonton having a good effort if they had to play this game tomorrow. But the fact that they had to turn around 24 hours later, everything's still fresh in their minds. I think that might be a bit of a deterrent. Where this is a Winnipeg team at home playing with house money. No one thought that that anyone was going to, they were going to win this series. Everybody kind of counted them out, especially the way they played. They backed themselves into the playoffs. Essentially, hadn't played well against Edmonton for most of the regular season. But they've just turned it on right now. They're playing cohesive hockey where Edmonton's not. It's simple as that. And this is a game where you look at the prices. Pretty much you can get minus $1.05 up to even money backing Winnipeg here to wrap this series up. And that just shows you that even the books, they're still trying to, give Edmonton some credit, of course, because, you think that they would be, throwing everything, including the kitchen sink at this Winnipeg team tonight. But I just don't think I think mentally they've seen that they're going to be, out of this game, honestly. Just like I said, this looks exactly like how things were last year in the bubble. Keep in mind, they were at home in the bubble last year against the Hawks, losing in 5 games, even though there was no fans. But still, you think the familiarity of being in your own venue for 5 straight games, they couldn't bring it then. And it seems like now, like I said, just another disappointing end to an Oilers season, and that's exactly what I think it will be. I like Winnipeg to wrap things up here, so I got them at even money. I like that all the way up to minus $1.10, $1.15. I think they should be able to take care of business. Someone in the chat mentioned about first period overs. Tampa Bay, Florida, I like that first period over, but I'm going to try to wait. Didn't work out for me last game because they scored so early, but I'm going to try to wait for the better adjusted price for that first period over with Tampa Bay in Florida. It's minus $1.20, $1.25. Just wait maybe a minute or two in game, and you'll be able to get that somewhere around even money. I feel like that'll be a better shot. So that's something I will have on the card. And of course, I'll have the card posted up on the Patreon page for those who subscribe and follow that. I'll have all the plays, and I'll make sure to get plays from the guys as well later on before everything gets rolling with that. So that's the only first period play I like. The last game on the board tonight, and this is the late game, 9:30 Central, so it's 10:30 Eastern. You got the Vegas Golden Knights going back home with a 3-1 lead against the Winnipeg Jets. This just seems like it's going to be an absolute nightmare right now for this this Minnesota Wild team right now. The way that they just laid an egg the last couple of games, it just seems like it's going to be an absolute mess for them, honestly. Going to Vegas, the fortress where they've got fans, they're going to be absolutely rocking and rolling. If Vegas gets out to an early lead, this game can get completely out of hand. So I'm looking at Vegas. We talked about it on the show the last week or so about how we want to kind of avoid puck lines because games have been close. This seems like a game where you feel comfortable laying the goal and a half. And you can also look for that team total over. I'm going to pull that price up here with Vegas. 3.5, you can get it plus money. You can get it plus highest plus 130 at some places. So I like Vegas team total over 3.5. I like Vegas minus the 1.5 on the puck line. You can get that plus 145 or plus 150. I think Minnesota, they're a young team. They're on the rise, but I just don't see them, bringing enough energy on the road to put away this Vegas team that is hungry and ready to make a deep run. I think this series comes to a close tonight. So I'm going to be rolling with the Vegas Golden Knights here in that spot. So those are the 5 games for the night. Like I said, went a little bit of rapid fire. There's no one else to kind of bounce things off of. Before we start wrapping things down, I definitely want to mention for everybody to check out DraftKings.com. Of course, they've got the sports book. They've got the daily fantasy. And you can check that out and use the promo code THPN when you're signing up. And they'll take care of everything. This is perfect time. You got the NHL playoffs. You got the NBA playoffs to start rolling this week. You got the Indy 500 coming up. Baseball every night. So there's plenty of sports to choose from right now. And jump in with DraftKings.com and make sure to use that promo code THPN. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat right here, seeing some people mention. Let's see. Someone was asking about a pick from earlier. Oh, Winnipeg and Edmonton. Yeah, I'm going with Winnipeg on the money line. I'm not going to touch that total. I like Winnipeg. You can get it, like I said, anywhere between minus $1.15 or mostly around even money at minus $1.05. I got it at even money, but $1.05 seems to be the consensus play with that. So that's the one play that I have for that game. So like I said, everything will be posted on the Patreon page for the card for tonight. Ian will be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully Jimmy will be back as well. That's pretty much the rest of the show. My best bet for tonight, I'll give you guys my best bet. I'm gonna actually roll with, let's see on the list. I'm gonna roll with Vegas on the puck line minus 1.5 plus 150. That's going to be my best bet for the night. Like I said, I'm on 4 of these plays personally. And like I said, I'm leaning toward adding that 5th one with the Penguins and Islanders game going to a draw, but Vegas minus 1.5 goals. That's my best bet. I think they will be able to take care of business at home and wrap things up with that series. When you see teams already eliminating and ending their series, especially with Colorado, Vegas knows they're going to be playing Colorado next. They don't want them to get too much rest before that series starts. They're going to be geared up and say, "Hey, we got to end this thing now, so we can prepare and focus and be ready for Colorado. We don't want to, let this series go on longer than it needs to." So I think Vegas will put the nail in the coffin. So that's it for the show today. Like I said, check everything out at DraftKings. Check out the store, shop.spreadshirt.com/Ice Guys. Get 20% off on everything today. This is the shirt. I just got mine in the mail actually yesterday. So everybody, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. And we'll be back to a regular, longer show tomorrow. So, and also definitely make sure to download the podcast if you didn't get a chance to catch everything. You want to catch up on stuff, go to any place where you get your podcast, any platform. And everybody take care, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.